Eventually, Coach, you got to play football.
Right.
So the NCAA has given dates where you can compare it to kind of like OTAs in the NFL. When, if everything is running according to plan, when will you actually be on the field and oh my God, actually having a huddle and having players play on the field the game of football?
Well, one positive, as you guys know, is no one huddles anymore, so that helps a little bit. But I think at the end of the day, for all of us, and this is in football, and this is in life, and this is state by state and businesses, is we got to do everything we possibly can do to keep everybody as safe as we can. And then with that, people have choices to make. Our players have choices to make. The staff has choices to make. Local government's got choices to make. Fans have choices to make. And the reality is we can't reduce all risk. That's just a reality, and that's always the case. You're going to take on some risk, but the thing that you have to do is you have to be educated and you have to be informed. And I'm a big believer in science, and I'm a big believer in listening to experts, and then make the best choices we possibly can make. But I think at the end of the day, as long as everybody is informed and you're doing everything you possibly can to keep everybody healthy, then I think you got a chance. And for me, I feel good because I think in the state of Pennsylvania, you look at our numbers, we've done a really good job of handling this. I'm going to be honest with you. Being in the South, in Florida, it was a different world than being in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
You're in Pennsylvania, everybody's wearing a mask. There's social distancing. You go into a grocery store, it's amazing how they're running the grocery stores and everything else. And our numbers are really good. And then there's other states and other areas that you look on social media or you watch TV or you look outside and it's very different. So we're fortunate that the state of Pennsylvania has handled this extremely well. But as you know, when you're playing college football, you're not just dealing with the state of Pennsylvania. You're traveling and all the issues that come with that. So, I think for us, I'm pleased with how we've gone about it. But, there's so many challenges that come with it. I think we got a really good plan when the players are with us. But what happens when they go away? When they go away from us and they're back in their apartments or they're back in their dorms, that's the challenge, because we got to remember they're still 18 to 22-year-old kids, which, based on my 25 years of experience, 18 to 22-year-old males are the most unpredictable people on the planet.
Yeah,
and we got to spend
confirm.
as much time. Yeah, and we got to spend as much time talking to them and informing them and educating them on the sacrifices that they have to make this work. And then I think we also have a responsibility through social media or whatever else it is to educate our fans. We averaged 106,000 fans per game last year. We averaged. So our fans want that, and I don't think that's going to happen. But if you do, then the better that we're all behaving, in terms of following all these protocols, the better chance that we have to have something that looks similar to that.
So, James, we're running up against the clock here, but I did want to ask you this one real quickly as Penn State head coach James Franklin is with us. We've seen a lot of player empowerment for causes that they believe in recently with what happened to Chuba Hubbard at Oklahoma State, Kylan Hill at Mississippi State. You dealt with something on a different level last year when a couple of Penn State players received letters basically saying, hey, cut your hair, do this to look more like a Penn State player. They made those letters public, and you guys backed your players. What are you seeing in terms of players standing up for things that they believe in, specifically in the social injustice that has been sweeping across this country?
Well, I think, first of all, as an African-American head football coach, one of very few in all of Division I athletics, I have a responsibility to empower our players and empower our staff to have great discussions and dialogue. And how can we make Penn State better? How can we make our community better? How can we make our state better, our country and our world better at some point? And, whenever adversity or challenges come, the reality is there's tremendous opportunity in that, so that's how we're embracing it. We've had great conversations as a team. We've had great conversations with the president of our university and the chair of the board. And we want to make change that we think is needed. But, our players have done a great job of having really good discussions and dialogue and creating allies across the campus and across the community of how can we work together to create a better Penn State, to create a better world for our children one day. So, I'm very proud of how our program has handled it. We want to continue to do that. There should be uncomfortable conversations going on around the dinner table of America. There should be uncomfortable conversations happening in a locker room. People have to be comfortable to speak up, because the only way we're going to grow through this and the only way we're going to evolve is people willing to be vulnerable. And that is black people, that is white people, that is Catholic people, that is Jewish people. We got to talk. And I think one of the biggest problems we've had in our country for a long time is too many smart people have been uncomfortable having this conversation, so they've avoided it. Let's talk.